Hey, what's up everyone? My name is Anthony and today I'm going to show you how to really quickly create a drop-down component or a select component using Vue.js version 3, and let's get it started. So first of all, I've prepared a component dropdown.vue in the components in an empty app project, and we have a template and a setup. So let's start with creating a little bit of HTML. So let's say we're going to have a div class drop down wrapper, and we also need style here. In here we also will need a drop down selected option where we're gonna display the selected option, and we will need a div class options wrapper, let's say the one that will hold our options, and div class option with our options. Now let's prepare a little bit of data in our parent component. So let's first of all import ref from Vue, and let's create options, which will be, for now, let's say it's going to be just a simple array of 4 elements. And we also need import drop down component, and let's put it here, drop down like this, and I want to pass an options here, but I will need to create a properties first of all. So let's import define props from Vue, and say props will be define props, and we will have options here, which gonna be type of and required true. Yeah. And now let's just bind our options with our options, right? But I need to say ref. Yeah. Perfect. Now let's see what we've got. We've got our app, we got our options, and we've got our drop down with the populated properties here. Perfect. Now let's do the thing. So first of all, I want to loop before option and index, actually in options the key will be index, and here we're gonna just display our option. Right, let's see. Yeah, we have it. Perfect. Now I want to add a little bit of styles that I prepared already. I have some styling. The only thing, it's not gonna be in wrapper, it's gonna be drop down wrapper, selected drop down selected option. Yep, and let's see what we've got. Yeah, we have a pretty, let me zoom it a little bit, pretty decent thingy here with a hover effect, but nothing is obviously happening. So first of all, what I want to do is create something called selected option. Now let's create selected option variable, which is gonna be a ref, and it's gonna be null by default, and here is gonna be this, or just please select something. Let's see. Yeah, we have it because we don't have our selected option. It's null. Now on the click of an option, I want to call let's say toggle option select function, and we're gonna pass an option into our function. Now let's create our function, and in the payload it will have an option, and we're gonna just say that selected option value equals option. Easy as that. Let's see what we've got. Yeah, it works just fine, but as I said, less likely in real project you will have these kind of options. So let's say we're gonna have something like an array but with an object will have a name, let's say 1, and the value 2, 1. I would even say like this. Right, and I'm gonna create 2 more with the 2, 3, and 2. And now the problem is that we have it in like an object, right? But if I click something, it's gonna be like this. So let's create a little bit of mapping. Let's create a const mapped selected option, which gonna be a computed property, and we will return either selected, let's do it in brackets, selected option value name, or just selected option value. If nothing here, we're gonna just return this thingy, this text. And now I can replace the entire thing with that. And let's see what we've got. Refresh. And we have perfectly selected, perfectly displayed name. But here I want to display also proper only name, not the value in the option. So let's say option, if we have option name displayed, or just an option. Right? Yeah, perfect. We have it here. So we have it working pretty fine, but unfortunately in the app, since we want to control and display our information outside in a parent component, we want to track those changes here. So for that thing, let's create a V model. So let's create actually the variable here, const parent selected option, and it's gonna be ref null. And also I want to have some h1 here, which will be selected option, and it's gonna be parent selected option here. So now it's empty. Let's now, and I want to, the same way as I operate with a normal default select, I want to use vModel here. And let my vModel be our parent selected option here. Now, if we select, nothing again changes, because we need a little bit of adjustment here. So first of all, in the properties, I want to create a model value, which is gonna be default, nothing is gonna be. We also need emits, define emits here, and we want to say that const emit define emits, and we will have update our model value. So now in toggle select, I want, apart from putting that option in the variable, I want to emit, update this thing, and I want to pass the option into our parent option. No, select, why is it? Oh, sorry. Yeah, like this. Perfect. Let's see what we've got. So we're on app. We select 3, and we have our parent selected option populated with our object with name and value 2, 1, and it works just super fine. Now the last thing I want to do is that on selecting on the option, I want to close the drop down, and also I want to close it when clicking outside. So let's say that this option wrapper will have a vif, and let's say is drop down visible. We're gonna go and create our do we actually need those? Yeah, props. Wait a second, props options. Yeah, and let's create a const is drop down visible, which gonna be false by default. Now we don't see it, and now on the click of the of that, let's say, of that thing I want to display. So I'm just gonna do the easy thing. I want a click event here, and I say that it's gonna be true, like that. Let's see what we've got. Yeah, it's visible. Perfect. Now on the selecting of the option, I want to where's my function? Here it is. I want to say that is drop-down visible value equals false, right? Let's check. It's opening. It's closed now. Perfect. Works just fine. Now I want this drop-down list to be closed by clicking just outside. So what I'm gonna do, I will need a onMounted and on before unmount, and let's go and create onMounted. We're gonna have some function, and on before mount we're also gonna have some logic here. So I will just say that onMounted window add event listener click, and we're gonna just call some function that will clear and hide our dropdown. Since we need a function, let's create it. Const close dropdown, which will just do is dropdown visible, and we can basically replace it here. But the only problem is, let's actually not do it like this. Since this event will be applied on everything, even now you see I'm clicking, it's not opening. I want to check if not our element, not our dropdown was clicked. So let's do the following. Let's create a reference on the very top element and say drop down. In Vue 3, in order to create a reference, we need to create it. So let's say const dropdown ref null. And here I want to see that element if not drop down value contains element target, I will do the closure. And now I'm gonna put that function here, and here we do pretty much the same, but we just removing event listener. So now let's see how it goes. We have it opening here, we select it here, but now we want to click outside and this is gonna be closed. Now let's just do one simple check and see how to remove that. Yeah, and let's see if we potentially have two drop downs, and let's say we have options 2. Let's create options 2 here, and yeah, let's do it this way as well. Options 2, right? Let's see if our drop downs will be, yeah, so opening one will close another, and it just works perfectly. Okay, we don't need two of these. We just did a test. Everything works fine. So what the last thing I want to do is animation here. So I want to not just hide, however it looks good. I just want to add some animation. So in Vue 3 we have Vue.js transition. And we have some, let me zoom a little bit. We have some classes here. However, I already know which one I'm gonna use. You have like this thing here. And actually, let's maybe use this one. Anyways, so we have the slide fade transition type. Let's add some styles, and let's wrap our option in a transition. The name is gonna be slide fade, and we just gonna wrap our options in a transition. And let's see what we have now. Yep, we have it working nice and smooth. You can add your own styling. You just need to properly maintain the enter and leave to, enter from, leave to, leave active, enter active classes. So this is basically the name of your transition, the class, the name that you apply here in the transition component. And these is like the steps. You can read about it here in Vue documentation, how the transition works, and you can apply any kind of classes any CSS rules and make it look however you like. So this is pretty much it. It works. It works just fine. The only problem I face is that as soon as you add a transition, our parent selected option thingy is no longer updated. But here we can see that it's actually been updated. So if it really bothers you, you can add a little bit of life hacking, and we can add set timeout function here, make it, let's say, 300 milliseconds, and wrap our closure of the dropdown in the timeout. In that case, when you select, you have your parent selected option properly set in the DevTools. However, it looks more like a DevTools bug. And that's pretty much it. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it and hope it will be helpful for someone. And yep, give it a like, subscribe, and see you in the next videos. Cheers.